I'm going to read to you a part from my 2019 screenplay. At my weekly session with Dr. Natural at Organic Hospital, Dr. Natural asks me, "How was your commute today?" I say, "Good. The subway stop is back in service, but now they're working on the other side of the track. I'm beginning to panic and get overwhelmed about my commute home. Can I leave the session a little early today? I don't want to miss my 1:30 p.m. train back to Long Island." Dr. Natural says, "You're a creature of habit, Andrew. You'll figure it out, and worst case scenario, you'll get home a little late." I say, "Yeah, I don't like change. Plus, I'm intimidated by Brooklyn. I'm afraid I'll look like a tourist, and someone will attempt to rob me or worse." Dr. Natural says, "I won't say that will never happen, but it's unlikely that it'll happen on a busy street in the middle of the day with many people around." 5 minutes later, the topic changes. I say to Dr. Natural, "At the gym I saw a guy in a t-shirt that said, 'Genius.' There's no reason to think it's related to me, but I begin to think it's someone from a company like Disney undercover saying my art is genius and we're going to make a movie." Dr. Natural says, "This is a textbook example of predicate logic, Andrew. Andrew, I see you've been working on a screenplay about mental illness. You send me many emails about it. I find it moving, but it's nowhere close to being developed into a skit at your recovery group, let alone a Disney Hollywood movie." I say, "I know you told me to focus on the screenplay about mental illness, but I've also been working on a superhero screenplay, music and comedic drawings." Dr. Natural says, "Unfortunately, there's a million people with superhero screenplays in Hollywood. Most of them never get discovered. And entertainment companies usually like to use Marvel and DC comics for superhero movies anyway. Basically, there's no demand for a superhero movie." I ask, "So what are you saying?" He says, "I think your screenplay with a comedic approach to mental illness has the potential to be developed into something. It hasn't been done before. It's very original and authentic, but you need to work on it and focus on it." I say, "I keep writing and writing and writing for this screenplay, and I begin to get overwhelmed developing areas of it. So I stop for weeks, then resume writing." Dr. Natural says, "Yes, focus. Take 3 acts or episodes, keep developing them, working on them, stop adding material and start editing what you already have." I ask, "Then what?" He says, "Well, you can ask people at your recovery group if they'd like to participate in your play. It may even get presented at NAMI." I say, "I feel like the recovery group is a dead end. No one has any experience in media, and no one wants to be in videos. I just go there, twiddle my thumbs, waste the day and money, then leave." Dr. Natural says, "You need to take charge. Don't wait for someone to spoon-feed you the project. Tell them, this is what I want to do. Does anyone want to participate?" I say, "Yesterday I was supposed to go to the recovery group for their media meeting, but I'm beginning to get discouraged and just didn't care." Dr. Natural says, "This is exactly the problem. If you don't even go to their media meeting, how can you say they don't want to participate in your media project? This is like the diving board into the pool of success. Take the leap." I said, "On medication I sleep for 12 hours, and when I wake up I feel medication hungover. For example, if I go to sleep at 8 p.m., it's hard for me to wake up before 8 a.m. Lately I've been going to sleep later than usual, 11:30 p.m., and I can't wake up until 11:30 a.m. By the time I wake up, go into the city for the recovery group, the day's over. If I could just snap my fingers and teleport to the recovery group, I'd go. Then again, I still probably wouldn't." Dr. Natural says, "Stop making excuses and just go." I say to Dr. Natural, "You're right. I need to pull the trigger on the recovery group and just do it." He asks, "What do you mean by pull the trigger?" I say, "It's an analogy my dad always uses. I mean, begin, start, go to the recovery group, pull the trigger." Dr. Natural says, "I don't like the pull the trigger analogy. It's not instantaneous change. It's more like moving sand from one side of the beach to the other. It's a lot of work and erosion can happen. Or constructing a house. Don't say pull the trigger."